Um, I mean, it's a tough one. I'm sorry to the parents, but I'm gonna go ahead and argue no. We should not reopen the schools, and I would like for those of you who think we should reopen the schools, go ahead and state why we should reopen the schools. There's a lot of no's. Um, but I think there are some folks out there who think we should reopen. If you want to reopen, will you go ahead and say you want to debate? If you say you want to debate and then you don't debate me and you just want to give shout outs to all the homies, that's cool, but I'm going to hang up on y'all. You know how this goes. So if you want to debate, you're a yes. I'm not debating anybody with no picture focused. Sorry, maybe next time. You could try that in somebody else's feed. We've been trolled one too many times in here. So I'm going to give you all a few more seconds to tell me if you think that you want to have the kids back in school. No, I'm not gonna just add you. You have to say that you think that the kids should be back in school. You know I'm saucy. You think they should be back in school? Okay, here I'm gonna click on this author. Oh, I don't want to debate. You just wanted to state your thing in the comments. Okay. Thank you. You guys have so many compliments. I'm just right now trying to see who would like to argue the other position. Okay, but then I don't really know what to do. I don't have the energy to come up with another debate topic. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so unapologetically Philly, you're saying you want to debate? Yes, what? I agree. People do not be trying to wear these masks. Okay, the kids are falling behind, so do you want to debate? Who? Okay, she said let's debate. But it say let's debate LOL. Let's try this. Because I don't want to be playing these games. Let's see. Staying strong for my kids. It says you're unable to join. Try that again. Nope. It says you're unable to join. No, I didn't see it. Somebody asked if I saw a response. No. Use the school boards. Yes, that's true. I'm ready. Are you ready? Ready for what? To debate? Okay, let's try this. Let's see. Hello.
Hi,
How are you?
doing good. How are you?
Good. What's your name and where are you from?
Well, my name is Vemba, and I'm from state of Maine, Lewiston City.
You're in Maine.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. And so you think it's time for the kids to go back to school in the fall?
Wait, I think I don't know. We have enough research. They don't have to go to school, but we can reopen and have online classes.
So then you don't want them to go back to school.
I want I want the school to be reopened, but online classes.
Okay. So that's not what I was saying. Sorry for the confusion. Thank you, Vimba. All right, y'all. So let's try this again. The debate is, should schools reopen for physical instruction in the fall? Right? So we know that kids can't afford to not be in school at all. That is not the debate. The debate is, do you think that kids should go back to the physical classroom for instruction in person, not online in the fall. If you think that kids should only be taught online in the fall while the pandemic is going on, we agree. That's not a debate. So if you think that let me start again. If you believe that kids need to be back in the physical classroom, then we need to debate. So then you say, I want to debate them going back to school. I think they should go back to school. Okay? So now that is where we are, is there one? Like the church people say, is there one? You're saying yes. Okay. So let's see. Let me see what happens. I click on this. All right.
Angela, the only reason why I answered, I was saying,
because y'all be playing too much. See, that's why I can't call on y'all. That's why I can't call on y'all. When I call on you, don't have me looking at the ceiling at your light. When I call on you, don't have me looking at the wall where your artwork is posted. When I call on you, don't have the camera filtered down a no page. When I call on you, don't tell me the only reason why you, It is a debate. Do you think that people need to be back in the physical classroom? That is the conversation. I don't want you on here giving your grandma and them no shout outs. Hey, grandma, look, I just shouted her out for you. Don't do this to me today, y'all. I'm showing how I look too. Look, my edges ain't even laid down. Somebody said they showing how they look. Anyway, you guys, who wants to debate this other side? If not, I'm about to get off of here. Somebody said her time is precious. Yes, yours is too. You done tuned in here for a debate, and these people in here showing out. You said pick me. Now I'm going to pick you. Well, no, hold on. This person said yes. Let's try. Let's see. Let's try this. Somebody said, call on me. I'm going to call on you next if this don't go. You guys just have to keep that up. It's taking too long to add him. Somebody said, I'll debate it. I don't think we should. That's the opposite. That's the same position I have. I don't think we should either. Okay. Who else? Okay. Call you. I'm not going to call you, but I'll pick you. Let's try this. It says waiting. Hello? It says waiting. There we go. Hello?
Hi.
How are you? What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Jonathan. I'm from Charlotte.
Jonathan from Charlotte. Yes. You think the kids need to go back to school in the middle of the pandemic?
Yes, I do.
Are you lying, Jonathan?
No, I'm not lying.
I was just checking because you was grinning real hard, and there's a lot of people.
No, because it's my sister over here.
I don't really think that.
No, my sister, she over here recording me because she know I like debating stuff all the time.
Oh, okay. So you got a backup record just in case this one goes left. I see.
Really?
So Jonathan from Charlotte and sister, you think it's time for the kids to go back to school in the fall? Why?
I think we should go back because I think I'm a college student right now, and the online learning is just really not working for me. I've been trying to do certain assignments online, and I haven't been able to really contact my professors and really get the information that I need. Mm-hmm. And I also
what school do you go to?
I go to UNC Charlotte.
UNC Charlotte. We calling y'all out. Jonathan needs to hear from his teachers. Come on, professor.
Yeah. Okay. And also, I think that they're not giving us any discounted tuition for doing online school either. And they're also saying that if we already signed our housing contracts, we have to stay on campus. So we're just going to be in our dorms taking online classes at the same cost. So unless they give us a cheaper alternative for doing online classes, I don't see the reason why we need to have it that way.
Jonathan, I agree with you on a break in the tuition since you're not getting the same experience. I think that's a great point. But I wonder this. Do you have any friends who've had coronavirus?
I haven't had any friends, but I do have some family friends who have had coronavirus.
Did they survive?
One of them did not.
So let me ask you if you think it's worth it to take that risk.
I think that it should be up to the like in terms of like public schools, I think it should be up to the parents. But when it comes to college students, I think it should be up to the student. Do they feel like the risk is there? They should have an option where you could do online if you feel like it's not safe for you or if you have underlying conditions. And they should also have an option where you can do face-to-face if you feel that you will benefit better from that as well. I think that we shouldn't have to make, we shouldn't be put in a position where we're having to make the decision of only doing online or only doing in person. But we shouldn't make that, there should be an option, is basically what I'm saying. And that it should also be discounted if you do choose to do online as well.
Yeah, so normally discounted or online classes they're not at the same rate. So I agree with you 100% on that point. So we agree on that. But now back to coronavirus classroom instruction. So let's say that you have a professor who has a compromised immune system. And you are demanding that maybe it's an adjunct professor, so not even the full benefits of, a professorship on campus. And they have, it will be a risk for them to be in the classroom. Do you want your professor to risk their lives to be around someone who may not have any symptoms yet, but is coronavirus positive, and then they don't survive it? How do you feel about that?
No, I don't think, but I also feel that there should be safety measures in the classroom as well. So like maybe we're requiring us to wear masks.
Yes.
And also, I don't think that the virus is really going to be going away at any time. I do know that right now that it's like really high in like, especially North Carolina where I'm from. But I do feel that we're going to have to start to like work with the new normal, and we have to find some way to compromise. Like, I don't think that if you feel like it's unsafe for you to go to work, you shouldn't have to go to work, obviously. But I do think at some point we're going to have to start making a decision to slowly go back to the new normal. And we're going to have to start making some compromises, whether that's making sure the professors wear masks and the students wear masks. And we have like Purell stations to make sure that our hands are clean. Just doing little things to make sure that, everybody is safe. But if you're a professor and you have a compromised immune system, or you feel that you're not safe going to work, you shouldn't have to make that decision, obviously. But I do think we're going to have to start going back to the new normal in this sense.
So I guess the question becomes, so have you been paying attention to the numbers, like the spikes that have just happened? And that was after some governors like forced their states open, right? So right after the states opened up, there's another spike. So what happens if you guys, they're like, okay, we're going to leave it up to the students. All the students come in. There's no social distancing in the classrooms. You're wearing your mask. There's Purell stations. But what happens if there's another spike? Was it worth it, or should we be trying to figure out how to ensure there's not spikes before we bring people back in the classroom?
I think that's a good question. But I also feel that what happens in the sense that, we do have schools that remain closed or online and we're still seeing spikes. I just think that at some point we're going to have to start realizing that what is really causing the cases to spike at once. And if we find that the schools being open was the cause of it spiking, then we definitely need to stick to online. But if the classes are online and the cases are still spiking, there's obviously another cause for the cases to spike. It just depends on what's actually causing it. But if going to school in person is causing the cases to spike, we definitely need to stick to online then.
The main cause of the spikes, right?
People not social distancing and not wearing masks.
People not following directions.
Yeah.
You think college students are about to follow directions?
No, my mom would just say no.
Exactly. So I think that's the main thing, right? So if you know that for your demographic, y'all are not likely to follow instructions, which means there's likely to be a spike. how much more so for high school and elementary school kids? You know what I mean? It's hard.
Right.
I can say for me right now, even seeing like my friends in person when I haven't seen them for the first time, your inclination is to give a person a hug, right? That is like, it threatens their body. It literally puts someone in harm's way. You may be sick and don't even know it. You could, be sharing space with someone and pick up the same knife they used or whatever it is. People, say they wash their hands when they go to the bathroom, but clearly people don't wash their hands the way they should. And so there are all of these different variables, and I can't imagine what it's like to be still in college, paying tuition and not getting what it's not your money's worth. I cannot imagine that frustration. But equally, I can't imagine you being, in the prime of your life and not able to see the other side just because we tried to rush you back into a situation that wasn't safe. And I think the main thing is, do you remember, Jonathan, when they first started talking about coronavirus and they were like, you don't have to wear a mask? Remember? Remember? There are doctors right now. One of my doctor friends says she wears gloves no matter what. She just takes them off and puts on new ones in each location. There's some doctors that are like, don't wear gloves. That's going to contaminate, and make the virus worse. My hands get too dry for me not to put gloves on. So I can't wait for that. They say it goes in through your mouth. It can come in through your nose. It can come in through your eyes, but not your ears. I've been arguing this because that's another opening, So anyway, I hear you and I understand the frustration. I don't feel like there's a safe argument that we can make to bring y'all back. And I know that that's frustrating. I remember when I was 5 going to kindergarten or whatever. 4, was that 4? No, 5 going to kindergarten. No, I was 4. Anyway, the point is, I remember being little and I needed to go to kindergarten, and I was going to public school that year. There was a teacher strike through the end of October. So, and I was like, I was ready. I had my new school supplies. I was ready to go back. So you're ready to go back, but if you can't be properly instructed and you can't keep yourself safe, what are you rushing back for?
Honestly, I'm rushing back because I think I'm getting a better education when I'm face to face. That's just me personally.
Not if they coughing on you.
Well, I ain't gonna be near the people who coughing on me. I'm gonna have my mask on.
It could be somebody right next to you that's all of a sudden like, you know what? I can't taste my food. For real. It's no point. And I know you got the itchies, but you just need to stay your butt still and in the house and on the computer.
All right.
People don't even follow instructions at the grocery store.
That is true. That is true.
They ain't even follow the instructions at the gas station. At least there you in and out.
That is true.
Anyway, this turned into a whole lecture. Jonathan, I better not see you. I'm going to find your social media and be on there. Jonathan is on there petitioning to go back to school. I'm going to fight you, Jonathan.
No.
I'm grateful that you came on. They said I'd have bored you with my lecture. He'll be all right. He'll live. Bye, Jonathan.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, y'all. Let's talk about these kids. I agree. Somebody said they should discount. I completely agree with that. I think Jonathan has a good point. If he's not getting his full money's worth for school, he should not be paying all that money. I'm going to do one more. Who else wants to be on? I agree. It's hard for the parents at home. Anybody else? Okay, the high school teacher said he wants to go back. Let's see. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Oops, I didn't push the wrong thing. Where did he go? We should go back. High school teacher. Let's see what you're talking about. Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Tell me your name and where you're from.
Anthony, Southern California.
Anthony, Southern California. You want to go back to school in Southern California? You got a spike right now.
So they say, yeah.
Oh, you don't believe it?
You
must not teach science.
I teach computer science, so I know a lot about data.
Yeah, and you still don't believe in the spike.
And how easily data is manipulated. Sure. Yeah.
Oh, so you are a coronavirus denier. Do you have anybody close
Didn't
to
say
you?
that. Hey, hold on,
No?
hold on. You're putting words in my mouth. It didn't say the coronavirus didn't exist. Didn't say that.
I didn't. I don't think that I said it doesn't exist, but it's a
Well,
denier. It
what's
could
a
be denier of
coronavirus denier?
impact. It could, yeah, a denier of impact. A manipulation of data is a denier of impact, right? I think that's a fair assessment.
What's the data
But
that has the impact, right?
say it again.
It's the data that creates the impact, right?
Well, sure. I think, but the data are the people who have been impacted by coronavirus. But tell me why you think that it's time for people to go back, including the fact that you don't believe the data that's coming out.
Because the data, the way it's being presented, is impacting in much more harmful ways, I believe.
You said it's impacting.
In much more harmful ways.
So you think that?
In other words, falsely. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm searching for my English because I'm not an English teacher. Inflating the data, falsely inflating the data, right?
Okay.
And creating the kind of panic that we do have to the point where we're afraid to let kids go back to school and socialize that way has a super negative impact on the psyche of the kids, at least from the kids, that I interact with. The amount of depression that I'm seeing in students that were relatively happy in January and February is heartbreaking, to say the least. And to see that most kids really want to go back to school, at least my kids anyway, and to have that being stymied by fear from the adults who are afraid to go back to school. It's more the adults that are afraid to go back to school than kids, especially since the mortality rate for under 18 is, no less than the common flu.
So let me ask you, Anthony, in Southern California, do you have anyone in your family or close to you, any of your students that have been impacted by COVID?
Yeah, I've got some church friends who are currently at home in bed right now, waiting for it to pass. I've had some family friends be it. I've had even some family of friends who have died who were in their 80s and 90s. But in terms of people in my general age group, sub 70 and above, or below 70, I haven't known anyone that's died, no.
Yeah.
Or even been hospitalized.
So I have some people that I know who were very, very sick, some who recovered and some didn't. And I think that the thing is, there is a lot that's unknown, to your point about COVID. But what I know, as a Black woman sitting here talking to you and knowing so many folks who look like me who have been adversely and tremendously and disproportionately impacted by COVID, what I don't want to happen is for kids who go to school with kids who are Black and brown and who live in what we deem as marginalized communities, that they can't afford the healthcare impacts of COVID, and nor can they afford to lose their lives. And because we disproportionately also have underlying conditions, I think that it is kind of a position of privilege, right? To say that we should be sending kids back because we were already sending kids into harm's way. That harm is even greater now. And so I appreciate your point on the data. I don't think that it's fair to say that the data has been manipulated to traumatize or to scare us into not doing what we want to do. It actually doesn't help governments to keep schools shut down, to keep stores shut down, to keep restaurants shut down, because it adversely impacts the economy. Hence stimulus, hence taxpayer money coming back to the taxpayer. They don't necessarily want it that way. They prefer to go to agencies, spend a little bit of time on Capitol Hill. And so this doesn't actually help them, right, to keep them, to keep things shut down. And so, and it certainly doesn't help the kids. We know that it could, potentially set them back in terms of what their learning is at home versus what it is in the classroom. So I can understand from your vantage point, like wanting to ensure that they're getting the instruction they deserve, but that doesn't mean that they should put their health on the line. And to your point, there are a lot of kids who don't live with their parents, they live with their grandparents. And so them going to the classroom every day could mean they go back home right, and jeopardize their grandparents' health. So there are so many factors that come into play when we think about, well, this person is in the classroom with these 5 other people who live with essential workers, or whatever it is. There are so many other bodies that now you're in contact with that create kind of a trickle down effect. And so, yeah, data, I agree, it has to be right and it has to not be manipulated. But I don't think, I will just say this, in both on the political side and on the policy side, I've rarely seen people want to manipulate data to get something done that would harm them, right? That would make them look like they can't win an election, to make them lose approval. Like that just, I don't see that happening.
Well, what are the states? I mean, in terms of, it doesn't help the government. Well, of course. I mean, no one wants the current administration to be where they are right now. So it's, are we not trying to harm the government that way also? That's the whole point.
I don't think that people are filling up hospital beds, to the point where they're overflowing, right? And they can't.
Where's that happening?
What'd you say?
Where is that happening?
Oh, it just happened in Alabama, where the governor is a Trump supporter, right? Like, so it's not a partisan issue that like coronavirus doesn't give a shit about your political party. It doesn't at all. It is a bipartisan, nonpartisan pandemic, right? It is that type of a virus we're dealing with. And so I think, even for example, there was a guy who I feel like it's just like happening so much, but there was a guy who I feel like he was former military, who was talking about how ridiculous coronavirus was and all this stuff. And he went to a party, like a pool party. 2 days later, like I think July 3rd, was super, super sick. And a week later, he was dead. This man was in his 30s, very conservative. Like coronavirus is a hoax. I've seen all that. And I've seen coronavirus go right to the heart of those people. You talked about some of your church friends. I've seen it happen in churches, Black and white churches, who thought they could pray off coronavirus. Like, God has worked miracles, but right now the miracle is he wants you to stay shut in at home and not on that pew. It's dangerous. So I feel like, and I'm a person of faith. Sometimes the faith is God gave you wisdom. Wash your hands and put your mask on. Like, it's just that simple. So I definitely, I appreciate the perspective, but I think I disagree with you. And I challenge you to go back, data scientists, and look to see what the benefit would be in them manipulating data to make a governor's job harder to get back, the president's job harder to get back, the mayor's job harder to get back. Nobody wants to be on the side of that. And some of these people are being considered for VP, right? Huh?
Find some numbers. You want me to send them to you?
Yeah, I'll be looking for those numbers. Thanks so much, Anthony.
Can I ask you one more thing?
Sure.
I've enjoyed our debate. Like, I felt like it's, mutually exclusive. Like, I mean, if you go back and read some of the comments people are saying, like, how do you feel about how people talk, when people have an opposing viewpoint?
Yeah,
like, I
haven't even
think about me right now.
I haven't looked at the comments that much, and Anthony, I can tell you there are some times where I have to put on a pretty tough skin, because people come in here and say all kinds of stuff. There's sometimes you'll see me, I don't know how often you've been in my live, but sometimes I'll read something and flip out, and then I'm back in the conversation. I would say if I saw it and I'm sorry I wasn't paying attention, if I see something terrible, like, I'll block it. But it's just, it's like the people hurt people, one. And two, I think that some people come in to, Instagram live discussions and they want to get attention, and that's their way of doing it, because when they say something good, they don't get a reaction. When they say something negative, they do. I want to tell you thank you, because, I know it's not always easy to come into a space where your view is different and then people are bashing you because the view is different. But I think that's important. And for the students that you're teaching, I also think it's important. I hope you don't tell them that they manipulate data, though. It does happen, but I just don't see who wins from that with coronavirus.
For sure. I mean,
I didn't say that one more time.
Program. I teach them how to treat data and how to make games. That's what I teach. I don't teach them what to think. Anyway, Thank you so
Well,
much.
that's a good thing too right now. They need to learn how to make games because then they can keep themselves busy.
Yeah. Sorry,
Oh,
that's my
you
little
gotta
girl.
get her some ice cream. Give me
Yeah, I
some
got
next time too.
Okay. Sounds
Okay,
good.
take
Thank you.
care.
Bye.
Bye, Anthony.
We're getting ice cream.
Okay, we're getting
I
ice
want ice cream too, honey. Bye. Hey, you guys. So, I think Anthony brought up a really good point. I'm actually not going to add anyone after this. I'm tired of this topic. I'm tired of this church. I think it's so important right now for us to not be in the habit of calling people out their names and demeaning people's intelligence because their posture is different than ours. Like how does that advance a dialogue or discourse? I'm not here for that. I gotta be honest with you guys. And there are moments for sure where people come on here and say things that I think are like ignorant and they're, trying to provoke a response. I really don't believe that was his posture just now. I really don't. And I'm like, how do we learn from people and potentially educate people if our posture is like, oh, you dumb, you about to say something dumb. Like really? Leonard, who, we have Sibling Rivalry, our podcast, he tells me all the time how important it is to listen. And Leonard is such a good interviewer because he really listens. And so it has been my posture, I think, especially in this season, to become a better listener. And so I would ask you all just to join me in that. And, to the point, Baller Alert is in here saying we hold our teachers to a different standard. I know, but there were people saying shit before he even started. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, listen all the way. And the opposing viewpoint may not be that different from yours. That is the point of discourse. And yes, it's a debate, but it's not a drag. And I think that's the difference. Like, I am trying to elevate my own communication to not set you up for you know what I mean? Like, come on, you guys. So anyway, I just am saying, let's all just be better about hearing so that we can educate and get to common ground. And it may be that it stays in a debate, and it may be sometimes it is a drag. But if somebody comes in here and they were bold enough to say something different, okay. Do I agree that has been manipulated to make people more afraid of coronavirus? No, I don't. I don't agree with that. But I also want to understand why he thinks that. There may be some information he's privy to. I'm not. I'll listen. I'll allow. But I also am like, I'm going to tell him what I know from my experience. And if we can all have constructive dialogue based on our own experiences, we might be able to get somewhere. That said, I'm still not going to allow no bigotry and nonsense, but I'm going to at least say that it's important to have a conversation. And the baby wanted ice cream at the end. Which one of us don't want ice cream in here? Even if you lactose, as the people say, you lactose intolerant, you probably want some lactose-free ice cream right now. Like, we had common ground with that at the end of the discussion, right? At least that. Somebody said one more, please. I'm going to pray about it. Who got it? Okay, let's see. Somebody said, I have a few thoughts. Make your point quick. I'm going to take a break. Let's see. You have a few thoughts. I know I need a brush.
Oh, hi,
Hi.
how are you?
Oh, you ready? That's what I need to do too. That swoop down on that hair. I need to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Tell me your name and where you from.
Oh, yeah, my name is Rahul Bajaj. I'm from Northern Virginia. And,
Nice.
Yeah, nice to meet you, actually. Sorry, I have a little oil in my hair. I'm just trying
No,
to...
you're good. That's what I need, some oil on my hair. But I'm listening to you.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, actually, I was listening to, the previous discussion. I really enjoyed all the discussions you had with, everyone on here. And, actually, in terms of... Actually, I graduated from undergrad this summer. And,
You graduated from where this summer?
Undergrad at George Mason,
Okay.
George Mason University.
Yeah.
So yeah, I graduated from there, and actually I'm an entrepreneur myself. So I've been in the business for 5+ years, and my team and I develop mobile apps, and actually I'm also launching an app myself soon. So, but in terms of, I know you did this discussions about reopening schools, but I feel like we all should I think about that, because if you gather in really hard. I was getting a call.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
Oh no. But there it goes.
yeah. So I was talking about how like when people gather in a huge population, it's not. I think it's pretty. I think that that'll increase the rate of the virus. So maybe we should take steps in order to social distance and and I've been seeing on the news like today also that like even now till today there's like a lot of cases of coronavirus like especially in like Florida, California, and I feel
Yeah.
like we should first take care of that, the decreasing the number of cases first, and then probably opening the schools. But I know Trump has been wanting to open the schools, but it's I think it's a little hard as of now to open them up. I think maybe we can wait maybe another semester, like till next year, probably. But I know they have like things in place as of now to implementations to keep the students away, like social distance and all. But hopefully we can like find a way to keep that stable.
Yeah. No, thank you. And congratulations on your graduation. We know that
Yeah,
you're going to
thanks
go
so
on
much.
to do some great things. So you stay safe and make sure you're social distancing, wearing a mask, and washing your hands.
Yeah, my family and I are doing that, and also actually we my company and I we actually been working around the coronavirus, so we've been providing data to other companies like and for them to identify future hotspots of the coronavirus,
Oh,
and
wow.
so we actually were featured on CNN earlier and the Wall Street Journal, so we've been
Oh,
just trying to
very
like
cool.
help.
What's the name of the company that's doing the data work, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, it's called our company's called X Mode Social. So we have been working with like different companies, and we actually started with an app called Drunk Mode, and we pivoted into a location data platform. So yeah, we started in 2013, and we've been in the business for a while. So
Wow.
it's
What's
yeah.
the next hotspot?
The next hotspot actually, it's well, looking at our data as of now,
Yeah.
I think it's hard to determine as of now. But earlier when we saw the Florida beaches, so we saw like when spring breakers went out to Florida, and we could see like a lot of students gathering there.
I want
And
you to tell us what the next one is because they're saying in the comments, they said he's trying to plug his company. So I at least want them to see that your data is right for next time. So if you have a hotspot that you think is coming up, tell us now. And if not, then we'll talk to you soon.
yeah, sure, definitely. I can when we'll probably have another data set soon. So like when
Okay.
we have our next hotspot available, I'll definitely be able to share that with you. And I saw you also host on on CNN if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So yeah,
My hair is normally done for CNN, but yes.
nice. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, actually we and I'm actually also trying to start and launch an app myself as well. So I'm trying to like connect and connect people in different spaces with one another. So it's
Oh,
like for like artists, celebrities, and people in different spaces. So it's like it'll be a connecting and booking app. So yeah,
okay. Well, very good. Watch out, Facebook, because you guys is blowing it out here. So you coming to get
yeah,
them. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you
yeah, no
soon.
problem. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.
Okay, you guys. So somebody was screaming me in the comments. If not, I'm gonna give this about 3 seconds and I'm gonna take a break. Now you ain't got no picture, so I'm not gonna pick you. Okay. Going once, going twice. Okay, you guys, at about 15 minutes. Where's the assistant principal? Somebody said there's an assistant principal in here. In about 15 minutes, we'll be back to who is this assistant principal? You guys keep saying that, but I don't know who it is. I don't see it. I don't see the person on here. Who's the assistant principal? Who's the assistant principal? Okay. So, yeah, somebody told me to take a break. So I'm probably gonna take a break. Who is the principal? Lord. Okay, let me try this. This young man sends a lot of messages. I'm gonna go live with him real quick and then I'm gonna take a break.
Hey,
Hello.
what's up? How are you doing?
I'm good. You want to say something? What you got?
So my name is first of all Vedant. I'm in the Michigan area, about an hour away from Detroit and just 10-15 minutes away from the Flint area. And I'm currently going into 9th grade, so I'm a student. What I think is there's been a lot of ideas about what could be potential solutions. And one of them that, I thought was a really good idea is doing like half the students go to school one day and then the next day the other half go, or separating it by weeks. And so that's something that I've thought if we could pull that off where people are actually social distancing and it's only half a class going at a day, would that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. My godson's school is going to do that. His high school is going to do that. They're rotating. I think every couple of days they rotate who goes to school, and then they have a couple of days off, and then the other half of the kids go to school. So that's an option. It's a compromise. You acting like you want to be in an elected office later on in life.
No, most definitely. And so, like I said, I mean, half the kids one day, half the kids the other day. The other thing is, I mean, again, like someone was saying earlier, it's not a popular opinion, but the amount of tests that are testing positive versus the people who are getting sick, that's the most dangerous part, is because some people are asymptomatic. Yep. And I know it's a hard question to ask, but what if these tests aren't accurate? What if all the people who are being told they're asymptomatic might not have the virus at all? Like, what if these tests need to be revised a little bit? And that's one thing that I've been discussing a lot with my family and some different people. I mean, I know I've had some family friends affected and even passed away from the virus, but I know a lot of people who are asymptomatic to the virus.
Yeah, I think that is a question worth answering. I think there's so much about COVID that we are still learning. And I think that over time, the test will be refined. I'm not a medical expert, but what I do know is that there are a number of people who have been sick with it. And when they get sick, they are very, very sick. And it hasn't necessarily made a difference, on age range. It certainly hurts more older folks than not, but there's no way to tell sometimes. So I think that the reality of it is, I just saw a crazy comment. I think the reality of it is we have to be more prepared.
Right.
And the only way to be more prepared is to continue to refine the technology, continue to refine the science, to continue to ensure that it's evolving for the greater good. And, ultimately we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, there may have to be a compromise. But I think that the first thing is you all's safety and the safety of your instructors and the administrations at the schools.
Well, first of all, I'm also a 13-year-old sports media company on my own media company. So Global Kid Media, as you see the title, I've done about 1,000 interviews with a lot of star athletes. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Deion Sanders, Magic Johnson. And when I think about, I'm highly involved in the sports world, obviously, what the NBA is doing to put everyone in a bubble and try to make it like a normal environment based off of the 2-week quarantine completely. Mm-hmm. I know it's probably not as realistic to do that with a whole school district, but what if we tried something like that?
What would happen with the parents and what the parents have to do? The difference with the league and with schools is that at the end of the day, at the end of the school day, the kids still go back home into their parents' homes unless they're emancipated. They go back home to share space with parents who may be essential workers, who may be working from home, who may have their own businesses and trying to navigate that reality. And then the kids are coming back into the house with the parents, exposing them to all of the things they've been exposed to all day. So it's not going into a bubble the same way the league is, because the league, the folks in the league are going back into their own hotel rooms, right? And they're not sharing space with their families right now.
And I think another point that someone on here mentioned earlier, the college student, said there should be an option if kids or parents as families as a decision want to make, do you want to do online learning or go back to school? I know there's still complications because, like you said, kids probably aren't going to social distance, but I feel like you can control that maybe a little bit better through the younger kids to make them actually have to social distance and set up stations with younger kids. Because, like you said, online learning for some people makes a lot of sense. I know for me personally, I've gotten ahead in a couple of subjects. I could even graduate a couple of years early through online learning before the whole pandemic. So when you get that choice as well, it helps a lot.
You strike me as someone who's very independent and disciplined, though, and that's not all kids' stories. I fell behind in an online class in college, so you're a little more disciplined than some of us. But keep up the good work, and thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to take a break real quick before I do sibling rivalry.
All right. Well, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here.
Take care.
Okay, bye-bye. So impressive. Okay, y'all. I will see you in about 10 minutes. Lenard's back from vacation. What are we going to talk about? Bye.